Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today I have another review for you for Recursion by Blake Crouch. So I read Recursion in a single day. I started it after finishing Crown of Swords and basically read like 2 or 3 chapters, and then the next day basically read the whole book by reading every second that I had free while I wasn't working or sleeping. Yeah, it's a good one. What we're going to do today is go through a non-spoiler review where I talk about kind of my thoughts on things like characters, theme, story, and then I will give you guys my rating, and then that's the end of the video. So what is Recursion about? It is a twisty-turny sci-fi thriller that is dealing with themes of love, loss, and memory. The main POVs that you follow are Barry and Helena, and Barry is a New York detective. He's an alcoholic. He is struggling to recover from the death of his daughter in a hit and run about, I think it's like 13 years ago. It's quite a long, it's a longish time. And Helena is a scientist, and she is trying to cure Alzheimer's because her mother has Alzheimer's and she wants to help her and help people like her. And Helena has an idea. She has an idea about a chair, and this particular chair will help you solidify and then also store and recover memories. So it's almost kind of like backup for your brain, you know? So Helena is really struggling. She's run out of money, she's got no funding, she's about to lose her job, and then suddenly somebody comes to her with a blank check. And that somebody is one of the richest men in the world, and he is passionate about her work and her project, but he wants her to complete it in secrecy. Now, Barry is, as I said, he's an alcoholic, he's a New York police detective. He is struggling to recover from the death of his daughter, and we kind of come to him on what is a pretty rubbish day. So he is called to a suicide attempt, and this person who is committing suicide tells him that she has FMS, which is false memory syndrome. And what false memory syndrome is basically she wakes up one morning and suddenly has the memory of 2 different lifetimes. And in one lifetime she is who she is. She's a single woman living in a tiny apartment, working a job she doesn't like. And in the other, she's married and she has a son. One day she wakes up and that son just does not exist. And so she's, she can't live with having these memories, and she decides she wants to kill herself. And Barry goes out to the scene to kind of try and talk her down, and she explains how the false memories are for her, what life is like, and eventually, unfortunately things go the way you probably expect. But this leads Barry on to investigating false memory syndrome, investigating her specific false memories, and then eventually he stumbles upon the kind of central story, really. Now, Helena is doing all of this kind of super secret science research, and you'll notice that both storylines are very, very intrinsically involved in memory. But one thing that is interesting is that Helena's actually takes place many years before. So Helena's story takes place several years before Barry's. Barry's is taking place in the present day. And eventually you follow Helena as she catches up to Barry through the years, and you see the true nature of the experiments, what the rich person is trying to guide her to build. And then at around the halfway point, the true full extent of what's going on with what's going on in the world, this big conspiracy, the big sci-fi element, is fully revealed. And I didn't see it coming until literally right before it was revealed. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. It's so interesting. And I have seen some reviews where a few people were kind of put off by the like pop sci-fi stuff once that starts. This is very, very much a like blockbuster popcorn sci-fi thriller. Like, I don't think about it too much. We're just here to have fun sort of story. And then the book then also takes a further turn later on, where things really deteriorate, and that becomes very interesting as well. So there's a lot going on in this book. If I say these books, in this book, it's only one book, and it's not super long. It's just over 300 pages, and like I said, I read it in literally 24 hours, pretty much. And in fact, if I think you could possibly read this book in a single sitting. Oh, hello. Sorry you catch me at my scenic windmill. I'm here to talk to you today about Your Paper Quest, which is an indie book subscription box that is kindly sponsoring this month of content on the channel. If you subscribe to Your Paper Quest, you will get 2 indie published books every single month. Those books will be picked by the Your Paper Quest team on a specific theme or genre like horror, fantasy and science fiction. And it's not just books in the box. You'll also get some bookish bits and fun stuff, and you'll have access to the Your Paper Quest book club, where you can talk to other subscribers about the books that you're reading and ask questions of the authors. There'll also be a monthly interview posted with the authors that you can watch, and you'll get on average 600 pages of content in every box. You can subscribe if you live in the US or the UK, and you can choose to have your books either monthly, bi-monthly or quarterly, whatever suits your reading pace. If you'd like to subscribe, you can also support the channel and get a discount by using the code SAM20 when you check out. That will give you 20% off your bookish box. And thanks so much to Your Paper Quest for sponsoring the channel. So, who's this book for? I would highly recommend it if you are a fan of like just kind of fun blockbuster popcorn sci-fi movies. So I'm trying to think of a really good example. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example of like a sci-fi popcorn movie. And I mean, Star Wars is kind of sci-fi. It's kind of sci-fantasy, I guess. Yeah, it's just fun. You don't have to think too seriously or too deeply about it. I think that the characters are written incredibly well. So both Barry and Helena feel very real. And once the kind of inciting event in Barry's story takes place, you really do see some marked changes in his character. And then you also, towards the end of the book, you see some more marked changes from multiple characters. Yeah, I just really enjoyed the entire book. I can't remember whether I gave it a 4 or 5 star now, actually. We'll come back to that later. So thematically, the themes resonated very strongly with me. So love and loss and memory are, as I said, the big themes here. Barry dealing with the death of a child is something that is absolutely terrifying to me as a parent of 2 children. The way that his life deteriorates after their death is very, very realistic. I can absolutely imagine that that's how horrible my life would go. It feels very, very real, very realistic. I'm sure if you aren't a parent, you can still get the same sort of emotion and the same sort of vibe there. But I really connected to Barry through parenthood, I guess. And then Helena I find really interesting as well, because she's losing her mother to Alzheimer's, and I have got somebody in my family with pretty advanced severe dementia who I had a very strong relationship with growing up, and it's not my mother, but it's someone who was close, very, very close, and fulfilled that role on many occasions. And it's very sad to kind of see that person has slipped away. And I can absolutely, I feel for Helena as well. I feel the kind of the race to to try and fix something, to try and get to, she has a really interesting problem in that the time that she spends trying to fix the dementia is time that she cannot spend with her mother. And while I don't have that problem, it's very easy to sympathize and to put yourself in the shoes of Helena when she's making that decision. I found that really interesting. So overall, I'm sure you can tell this is definitely a book that I would recommend. I don't think that there's anything that I would warn people off of. I mean, I know some people don't like the turns that the books make, but the thing that I would say is every Blake Crouch book that I have read has had a turn where the tone and the kind of the tone of the book shifts. And this one actually kind of has a couple, maybe even 3. But yeah, so multiple times this book kind of has a bit of a turn, bit of a change. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Like I said, I can't remember whether I gave this 4 or 5 stars. I wonder if Kindle will be able to tell me. Let's check. Let's have a look. So I've got the old Apparoonie up here about this book. Does not tell me. Oh wait, no, my Goodreads is loading. It's loading. It's still loading. Maybe I'll be able to tell you guys at the end of the video. So if you have liked this video, please give it a like. If you have also read Recursion and you would like to chat with me about it, or you'd like to chat about pretty much anything. Oh, it's just there as red. It doesn't tell me the rating. If you'd like to chat with me about anything, if you'd like to recommend other Blake Crouch books, I have read Dark Matter and I have read Upgrade. I thought Upgrade was a bit rubbish. Then please do drop in the comments and give me some recommendations. Anything similar to this, I'd love to read. I've heard that Michael Crichton is kind of the guy for this stuff, so I might go back and read some of his stuff. Also, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe, because every little subscription helps. And finally, I'd also like to thank Your Paper Quest for sponsoring this video. You'll have already seen the ad in the middle of the video. They're also sponsoring every video of mine in September. So I've tried to make the adverts interesting. Each one should be a little bit different. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I will speak to you tomorrow.